entrance of Morton Salt in Great Inagua. It's about 7 miles, as you can see, straight ahead. Some of the crystallizers close by where the salt is grown, and these are thousands and thousands of acreage. And as we look towards Morton Salt, the area called the deposit is where all the salt is stored after harvesting out of those crystallizers. And the operations over there create some mountains of salt. And these salts look like they go up to 60 feet high or more, 45 up to 60 feet high, a mountain of salt. And this is the storage area. You're seeing a portion of it. This operation has been in place from the early 50s on a massive scale. But salt has been made in Inagua most of the centuries. There was a beacon flock of laborers coming from Turks and Caicos Islands in the early 50s when salt operations ceased in Turks and Caicos Island. That salt operation was run by the Bermudans salt company. And people like my father and my grandparents, they moved into Great Inagua as skillful salt operators from Turks and Caicos, and they came here to work the major growth in the salt company as millions of dollars were invested in this operation. So this is the second location outside of Matthewtown where the salt operation was. The first one location was Salt Pond, would be east of us, southeast. And eventually in the 60s, this massive investment took place, including a deep harbor dock where salt is run out on harvester belts to be filled in these 50,000 ton boats, 60,000 ton boats, loaded of salt, shipped all over the world. A lot of our salt goes straight to Cape Canaveral in Florida. That's another depot where salt comes directly from Inagua to Cape. And also we have boats that come from Canada, even some Caribbean countries get direct salt from us by contracted boaters that bring salt, that comes here to bring salt. But Inagua, through the years, as a youngster, when I was growing up, like in the mid 60s, early 70s, Morton Salt operation had a fleet of ships, and one of the ships called the Cecile used to take salt into Brunswick, Georgia, up the river, and for balance coming back to the Bahamas to Inagua, they brought fresh water from Georgia. So all our water came from Georgia. As youngsters, we grew up with Georgia's water, of Brunswick water, and fresh water. And there's a big storage tank. As you can look ahead, straight over that big wall, that is the remnants of the big salt tank. That water was pumped in for the whole township. And that was being done from like the 50s and the 60s. But this operation has become so mechanically operated nowadays. They have a lot of huge vehicles that move salt around from the crystallizers to the deposit and all that sort of stuff. A lot of Caterpillar brand equipments out here. As you can, if you were to pass the outside of the plant, you'll see remnants of one or two. But this has been great for the Bahamas, Morton Salt. A steady company, a stable company, I would say, and educated many Inaguans all over the world. They departed and they went all over the world, I should say. I came back home. I don't know if it's the salt I tasted early on, or whatever it is, but it's the best kept secret island.
And then George, is the good thing too is the workers take the monies and invest back in the community.
Yeah, well, they build their homes, and some people now have businesses, their own businesses around town. Our township, the population seems to reach up to 900 and it stops. It didn't go no more than that. So we continue to have a population around the 900 level in Matthewtown. A lot of people work the salt industry from youngsters, grow up, straight up to adult. My father, who came here as a 21-year-old from Turks and Caicos in the late 50s, he worked here as a truck operator, then as a chemist, the person who watched the weather forecast, the rainfall. I work in an area called the laboratory. He's like one of you call the scientist nowadays, the chemist and the folks who works in the laboratory watching quality of salt and the rainfall, the weather engagement and all that sort of stuff. That's the area he worked in. So he was a sharp kid. I guess that's where we got the love for weather forecasting and that sort of thing from. Yeah, Donald Harris. Used to call him Morton Salt. That's how much he was embedded into it. But as you know, in the Bahamas, you think of that faraway island named Managua. But when you reach down here and see the operation, you realize that what we call white gold, salt, has kept this economy stabilized through all the years. And with great output of best quality salt in the region, well, in this part of the world. That's right, Morton Salt. And your cousins and your relatives and whoever they are from Inagua, it's us, the sweat and blood of us, who made this company successful and bring the quality salt to Inagua. When you walk in the food store and you see the box of salt with a lady drawings in with an umbrella and says, when it rains, it pours, that's Morton Salt from Great Inagua. God bless Morton Salt and the people of Great Inagua. And there is a pumping station pumping water into the line.
Right.
There's another pumping station at that end pumping water back into the sea. And this comes through the Morton Salt Reservoir operation. Right in here you can catch fish, many fish. The pump area. Vegetation changes over here. All those mangrove bush striving in salt water. Part of an ecosystem in the Great Inagua. So we call this one the lake pump. This flow of water heading out now to the exit back into the sea location, just on the perimeters of Morton Salt. These parts are popular for barracuda. And we catch a barracuda in here, they are the sweetest barracuda there is.
No poison.
No, we are the predators in this case.
Ah.
We the people. Get a better view of the deposit where thousands of tons of salt are situated. Well, you can get a better view of the dock heading going into the sea, the big deposits that's takes the salt on conveyor belts to the big loading ships when they are at port. There are no ships there now. It's a big barrel this can. Yeah, here. Okay, there's some crabs in for them. Some shads in there. Blue crabs. Blue crabs. You can stay right here and fish on the rock and get your catch for the week of various seafood.
Yeah, I got the crab. Wow, I got the crab in the shot.
Yeah.
Keepers.
See all those fishes? When you first look, you don't see them, but after you get the eyes get acclimatized to the water, you see all the fishes. And we're at the lake pond location.
A barracuda need to come back out, man.
Yeah, he can move mighty fast.
He's camera shy.
Yeah, he moves pretty fast. Guess you saw the shadow. There's some further up, but you can't see it too well over here. Silver crabs.
Crab walking in the water. What's going on?
Yeah, we have blue crabs, man. They are expensive crabs. What I find.